So there's a moment where AI stops being a tool you occasionally consult and becomes something you always have to ask. I was recently researching cognitive offloading and I read a piece by Evan F. Risco where he describes this as a physical action used to reduce the cognitive demands of tasks. But it's important to say I don't find this bad. A paper called Offloading Items from Memory did mention that offloading can lead to improved performance on ongoing tasks with high cognitive demand, such as tasks where information must be simultaneously maintained. I think it's interesting in the age of AI, especially the age of technology. I mean, think about maps. I personally am so bad at directions, but that might be because I've always had maps on my phone. Individuals with higher memory capacity were said to show better performance in reasoning tasks and reading comprehension, but they are disadvantaged with direct forgetting tasks as well as cognitive control tasks. So where something says red, but it's in blue. I was trying to think about where this would be relatable because I don't always get situations in life where something is red, but it's in the color blue. But it's relevant to things like a programmer switching languages, so typing print instead of console log, or filtering out the wrong thing. So you filled out a comment because you're focused on the wrong thing. So how does this relate to AI? The core question is how working memory shapes the way people interact with AI. The high capacity learners push back more, while low capacity learners in terms of like low memory capacity accept outputs with really evaluating them because they can't hold the logic long enough in their head to be able to verify it. To explore this, I read a paper called Working Memory in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, and it moves past the debate of whether to use AI or not, and it asks something more useful. When does AI help learning and does it hurt it? So in this article, they propose an AI learner working memory co-regulation framework, and I really like this. It tries to match AI design choices to how learners actually process information. It draws on cognitive load theory, which splits mental models into 3 types. So the first one is intrinsic load, so the complexity of the material itself, something like calculus. The second is germane load, so the productive effort it takes to build knowledge schemas, so struggling through a problem. And extraneous loads, so wasted effort from poor design, confusing instructions like the one for my bed. So germane load is where actual learning happens. So the risk with AI is that by reducing intrinsic load through cognitive offloading, writing a note using a calculator, asking ChatGPT, you might also be cutting into germane load, and that's where a lot of your learning happens. So this goes hand in hand with the assistance dilemma. This connects to the trade-off between giving and withholding help. So high detail AI outputs tend to boost immediate performance, but suppress recall later. This reframes the question from does AI help, and really under what timing and conditions does AI help and for whom? So the risk. In practice, in higher education, overuse of ChatGPT has been linked to procrastination, memory loss, and weaker performance. And the concern is it erodes scaffold retrieval-based learning. And this is the gradual removal of supports as students build long-term memory. Think of it like I do, we do, you do model, or avoiding brain dumps in favor of spaced recall. AI risks short-circuiting that process entirely if used without care. So the research suggests AI has value, it just depends on how it's used, specifically whether it co-regulates the learner by reducing extraneous load while keeping the productive difficulty intact. The key is breaking tasks into prompted sub-steps, so working memory holds one piece at a time. So something unstructured would look like write me an essay on climate change and you're handing over everything. So structured use looks something like, what is your argument in one sentence? List 3 pieces of evidence that support it. What is the strongest counter argument? Now draft your introduction using what you've told me. Feedback follows the same logic. One action item, a positive anchor, a specific location. So, for example, your introduction is strong, one thing to fix. Your paragraph makes a claim that gives no evidence, not a full evaluation, just one step at a time. So, the metacognitive risk. When answers are instantaneously available, learners may overestimate their understanding, underestimate in checking and encoding and start treating AI as external memory rather than building their own. And this compounds the load problem. You're not just offloading a task, you're offloading the monitoring of your own thinking. So the 4 design principles are: load-aware prompting, constrain each prompt to one idea or one work step; retrieval-preserving workflows, follow AI help with short, delayed quizzes or generation tasks to restabilize memory; level and discipline matching, so novice get worked examples, type formatting, shorter outputs; advanced learners get less scaffolding and more open-ended prompts; explanations that serve working memory, so keep them brief and short and local. Every explanation should answer, why am I doing this? What should I do next? And only go deeper when the bigger picture actually helps. Never use more wording than necessary. Applying it. So when editing this script, I tested whether this framework could work in practice. So what I did is I went to Claude under Customize and then put in a skill called Learns, because there was already one called Learn, and focused on explicit learning requests. So I set up instructions for coding tasks built around the same 4 principles, but I also set up it for writing, helping me write this script. And at no point was it actually writing the script, which was really nice. I would say this is like my draft, and it would go, okay, work on this. What do you think could be improved? And then when I said, I think this could be improved, we worked on that and then we'd go to the next bit. So at no point was it wording stuff for me. It was kind of just prompting back to me, which was really helpful. So I feel like I was a little dead in my recordings today, mostly because it's before work and I need to have a coffee or something with energy. But please like and subscribe and all that jazz.